he wins. Like, he wins. Out of all of the life series winners, he wins at being a winner. Because nobody went, make him cry about it. They went, car.
He did it. He broke the curse of angst, and we respect that.
It, because how are we supposed to interpret angst out of him winning, turning to the camera and going, and that's the Fast and Furious franchise summed up.
Wild. Sing, O goddess of the wildlife, chaotic, doomed, whose snails cost the lifers countless lives, hurling skids down from the spider's nest. Welcome to FanDive. My name is Chaos.
And my name is Andy.
And today we are talking about wildlife. We're coming to the end, and I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, no, really, we aren't ready for it. We gotta delay until Past Life ends.
I know, it's so like, we can't record Past Life the week before Past Life ends, but we don't actually know how long Past Life is gonna go for, so, you know.
I don't know, we still have, I'm pretty sure at the time of recording this, we still have dark green names.
Yeah, people are still on 4 and 5 lives. I'm like, technically in Third Life, we did have the finale where people had green lives, but I'm like, that was back when people only had 3.
Yeah, so we don't know when it'll end, so we timed this slightly off.
Alas, we can't see the future, but you know.
Despite our status of kind of Watcher-like beings, we don't actually have this omnipotence.
If we do, we're really bad at interpreting it. But yes, wildlife.
Wildlife is great. It was last season right after Secret Life. Yes, that's the one. Oh boy, was it wild. That's for sure.
There's so many iconic things from this, specifically the snails. Everyone, when you think of wildlife, it's the snails, which is funny because, the thing about wildlife was that every session was something different. It was a wild card. It was a theme of, here's some ideas that wouldn't work for a bigger series. We can't do the snails every session for a whole series. It would be a massacre. It would last 2 to 3 episodes. But, have them in for one. Have them eat dirt and fly up into the air for 1 episode. That's good. We can do that.
So we don't talk about it a lot, but there is a team that Grian has behind the scenes that helps.
He has a dev team.
And for this season specifically, they went wild, let me tell you.
It was beautiful.
Took so much work, and I believe in at least in the finales of Grian's, I believe, you get some of the behind the scenes, no, really, this was hard.
They showed how the pathing was coded for the snails and how it works of okay, but what if you're this block up in the air, and what if you're this far away, and what if there's a ravine between you? The amount of work that goes into it's called character pathing AI. It's not generative AI, but it's how does the computer know where to move the character? And it's the amount of work that goes into figuring that out is actually insane.
Oh, that's great. But you then have to design, and this is what they did, design it for every individual in the series as well. And then they had Ollie Orion Sound do the voice acting. There was a lot in every process, and I specifically want to shout out the people who do the coding, because oh boy, but really, they did a lot in so many aspects for that season, and it paid off, in my opinion. I know it's not everybody's favourite, but I had a lot of fun learning the different thing each episode, because each episode you'd roll the dice, get the wild card, something is different, figure it out, go.
Also, we just got to talk about Ollie. I know you're moving on, but we need to talk about Ollie the Orion Sound.
We can talk about Ollie when we get to that episode.
Oh, do we have to go episode by episode? But there's so much to say.
There is, but we will get back to Ollie. I promise you, we will get back to Ollie. He deserves all the recognition. Genuinely, I think I've been watching him so long.
Okay.
So long.
What was episode 1? What was
episode 1? Was growing and shrinking. Anytime you shifted in game, you would slowly get smaller, and anytime you were jumping, you'd slowly get bigger. And this wasn't quite noticed at first until people started doing things like crouching under trees and B-dubs. Why are you so tiny?
I love it because, like, it took most people a while to figure it out. But, like, Martin was crouching when the wild card thing happened. And it took, like, a millisecond. He looked at himself and went, oh, I'm shrinking. That's what happens. You're changing sizes. And versus, like, you know, Big B, again, not Big B. Actually, yes, Big B included, but also B-Dubs, very lost and confused about this. And then Lizzie, who just became absolutely giant while jumping out of a cave and went, I guess I'm stuck like this.
Yeah, so they did not know. A lot of the people, besides Martin, didn't figure it out what was going on or only adjusted slightly as they were running around. And then the people who did figure it out, it took them a little bit longer of what's causing this. But it became an issue whenever you started shrinking and were shifting over an edge. Because if you're shrinking smaller over an edge, you're just going to fall off the edge.
Yeah, that was the deaths that, like, weren't considered as, like, oh, this is be a very easy, like, gentle way to introduce the wild card. No, it was, people very quickly died.
Yeah, all things considered, it was one of the more gentle wild cards.
It was until people started suffocating.
That's because all of the other ones were even more insane and deadly. I think they overestimated the skills to stay alive.
Yeah, I think I have the wiki pulled up. It was just Pearl and Scar who died episode 1 due to fall damage, but I think Grian got pretty close as well. Like, he fell, but, like, didn't die all the way. Like, he took damage, but, you know.
So, episode 1 was when we are establishing our alliances, and due to the shrinking, they got a group created of the sub-ones.
If you're under a block, you're in our group.
And this became Skiz, Mumbo, and Grian. There was a moment, none of them actually died, but they shifted off an edge, fell, were just small enough that they didn't hit the stalagmite, and the other person went, no! Shifted over the edge to see what happened, also fell.
Yeah.
And then the third person did the same thing moments later. And that's what I'm thinking of for episode 1, was just these falling off of cliffs, this, I'm tiny, I'm gonna make a really tiny house here.
Which
and Lizzie
only
being a
works for
whale.
that one episode. Oh, and then we had, I cannot forget this, the Ren who was singing House in New Orleans. It was House of the Rising Sun, that's what it's called. And it's so, it's love. He needs to sing more. That's such a good song.
Campfire song. I don't remember which band it is, but there was a particular time, not in the live series, where someone said, oh, I don't know that band. And Ren just pulls out a guitar and starts singing this band like, you know this.
You have to know this. You have to know this.
You got the sub ones. Lizzie got so big.
Lizzie got...
I think best things from that episode, besides the absurdity of this is what's happening now, was just the amount of uppies, please.
Uppies.
The tiny people.
Uppies, please.
Is why. Uppies.
Did the Bamboozlers form episode 1, or is that a team up that happened in episode 2? I feel like they didn't fully team up in episode 1.
I am unsure, because especially the first couple of episodes, they have the alliances, but they're a little bit...
They're loosey-goosey.
So I don't know if it was fully solidified until later, but...
Lizzie definitely was claiming that upper part of the Cherry Mountain, and then Scar was also there. I don't know if Jimmy was, like, officially joined at the end of the session, but, like, so the teams were, it was the G's, I think were the names, it was, like, Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss, plus, was Impulse in that team? It was Impulse,
yeah, it was,
Big B, Red Dog.
I loved the 3 G's and Impulse because it was Gaslight, Girl Boss, Girl Dad.
I love that, though. But that was a pretty big team. That's like, where was Ren? I feel like Ren was in that team.
Martin.
Ren was in Martin. That, oh right, because they had that whole thing where they were up in the air.
Yeah. Ren was not part of that group.
Why did I think Ren was part of that group?
They were not.
Maybe I'm confusing.
He's always on his own, but also not. He was kind of part of that group, but they really weren't sure about his alliances.
Yeah, I feel like that's the status of Big B every season, including this one. Big B's like, and I'm also here, and everyone's like, why are you here? You're not part of this team. But like, you know.
Bigby's part of the rejects this for past life.
But he also has his titanium egg with the sheep rolling over it.
Yeah, well, that's his own thing.
That's his own thing.
He's just like that, okay? Let Bigby.
Okay, so the G's were Zombie Cleo, Pearlescent Moon, Scott, Impulse, Bigby floating in the air. We had Ren and MartRen, who were also in the air, who decided to build very flammable tree houses, I think, but then they were over a pond, right?
Well, they put the pond in later.
The pond showed up eventually.
Yeah, they fall damage and stuff. What was their team name?
I don't know. Did they have one?
I could have.
Did they just rename it?
Typically is.
I feel like they just renamed it like whatever Ren would or whatever ship name they have.
Tree bark.
Tree bark. There we go. No, it was Renwood, but people kept saying tree bark as the joke. That's my thought.
Okay, sure, I believe you.
Sure, yeah. Let me lie to myself. Bamboozlers, Lizzie, Jimmy, Scar somehow made it pretty far. I will say, I those three, they need to team up again, and they all need to win. It needs to be a team victory. It's double life, but again, and it's triples.
I'm gonna go back. A different version of Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss, and Impulse was Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss, and Guy.
And a guy.
There was a handful of different ways people did that. So the Bamboozlers, sub ones.
Team Bet, which was B-Dubs, Etho, Tango, that was a team. I remember that. And that just left the family, Jem and Joel.
Okay, but Etho was like part of every alliance.
Etho was also there.
Etho was also a family member, and also he was trying to play all sides.
Wait,
and it was
not
working
Bet
well.
Or was it Tough Guys? I think they officially went by Tough Guys.
They were the tough guys, yeah.
That's a shame. They're Bet in my mind.
Well, that's because you're also with the acronyms. Okay, but why are they not an acronym that time? If they were the tough guys, then why? Then who's the defining member who makes acronyms?
Skiz, we've been over this. He's not a part of that team. Also, Impulse isn't part of the team, who we also said was an acronym guy.
Wait, where was Impulse? Was Impulse in that season? Where was he?
Impulse was with the G's. Girl Dad.
You're right. I'm just a little bit confused.
We just talked about this. Okay, but those were the teams. We gotta go back to what the gimmicks were. So, episode 1, shape-shifting, teams established. Episode 2, hunger.
Congratulations, food is no longer food. You constantly have the hunger effect. You can eat anything, and they might just give you different effects.
Yeah, the flying up into the air, and you better hope you land in water, because,
Poison, regen, fire resistance, farming, like any of those potion effects you could possibly get from eating these different foods, or you might not. Some foods give you lots of food back, that makes sense. Saturation, yeah. Some don't.
Lizzie was like sold on eating shovels the entire session, and I was like, that was a pretty mid-tier one, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but she was one of the first to like properly figure it out, and everyone had to figure it out fast. But I remember
people like straight up died of hunger. Like it was, what is it? 3 deaths that session? 3 or 4? Let me open up the wiki. I don't want to be wrong.
It was at least a few.
It was Mumbo, Ren, and Skiz all died of hunger.
Yeah, but Lizzie had the wait, what's going on? And Jimmy and Scar just what's going on? And guys, I just ate my sword.
Love that.
Was it sword or shovel? I know she was eating shovels for a lot of it, but
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
It's been a minute. Excuse us for not remembering every detail.
Again, we've been watching Past Life. We haven't super been keeping up on our like rewatch duty. Anyway, do we have much to say about that one, or should we move on to episode 4 of Wildlife?
It was funny. Episode 3, but
episode 3. I know what we're talking about.
I loved the way that people did things, specifically when they found the ones that floated, and
and how they like tried to trick other people into eating the floating effect ones.
Because there was one time, I believe it was Skiz that ate, and Tango placed blocks under him so they couldn't catch himself.
Yeah.
There was Martin who ate the levitating thing and put an audio effect on his voice post. But of just hello, I am
Hello.
a deity just floating into frame. And we had Skiz do the clutch of eating dirt at the last second so he doesn't die on the ground.
That was
Um
insane. Wait, but then also we have to think about how it was like it didn't stay the same. Like everyone figured it out and then it got randomized again.
yeah. And isn't that how the tough boys became the tough boys?
Maybe. Did they just all start
It's
eating
'cause
tough?
I believe for one of them they were just like, yeah, tough, let's go. Because they all built the little houses out of different things, if I remember correctly.
Maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
Yeah, they had the little.
One was
It's
copper,
weird.
one was tough. I don't know. There was a third one. I'm blanking.
I remember the copper one because trying to get that much copper was
Yeah.
stupid info.
Thanks.
But after food, which one was it?
Snail, 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 snail.
Yeah.
Which this one is insane because like I'm sure the thought was like, oh, snails would be so easy. It's like it's the age old question of like you're like you get a whole bunch of money, but an immortal snail is following you forever. Nothing will ever stop it, and if it touches you, you die. Obviously, everyone knows this question.
No, not everyone does, but alright, go on. The first version I heard was you are now immortal, have a lot of money, so long as you don't touch this snail. And so Grian, previously before Wildlife, had done stuff with snails in Hermitcraft.
Yes.
And so they brought the snails. They brought the snails into Wildlife. You are fine as long as the snail doesn't touch you. And it's just going to be always and continuously slowly approaching you.
It's so weird to think that that was early season of Hermitcraft, and that season of Hermitcraft is still going, and now we're in past life. Like, it's this Hermitcraft season's been going on for a while.
Yeah, but that's because you are used to shorter ones. I'll suffer.
So true. But where we're in the Immortal Snail episode, we can talk about Ollie the Orion sound, the voice of the snail.
Go. He also did trivia bot later on. This man is not a voice actor. He makes music. Not even like album music. He's just constantly singing. This man is a bard in every which shape and form. He will just be streaming with his keyboard and playing Minecraft and oh yes, we're doing this, let me sing about how it's a tragedy. And he is friends with Grian, has been for a while, so Grian got Ollie to make the snail sounds.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wah, 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 wah.
And there was variations of like the snail burning, the snail flying, the snail jumping.
Here's the thing, is I watched Ollie talk about it. There's different sounds for the snail drowning, the snail getting hurt in different ways, attacking, breaking through blocks, because if it's boxed in, it's just going to break through the wall. It's terrifying. Ollie recorded for burning in lava and burning in fire. We found out during the episode the snail cannot burn. The snail couldn't burn, and Ollie recorded a bunch of sounds for it and was so distraught afterwards. Just how dare you?
How dare? Let's see. How many people died to this session?
A lot.
How does this keep? There's a lot of deaths. I keep scrolling. It keeps showing up. They literally had to end the session early because of how many deaths the snails were taking.
And how exhausted people were. Like, Scar, by the end of that episode, was so tired.
It was like, I'm done. We're tapping out. We're ending this. We can't do it anymore.
We can't do it anymore. We have to tap out. If you watch different animations and stuff on YouTube, I would recommend watching the All Deaths in Wildlife SMP, but in Lego. For that, because they have an entire section just dedicated to the snails, because it was that bad. Like, it was terrifying. And yet there's also Joel and Jem were doing fine.
They were doing great. Like, Jem was like totally, it's like, oh, da-di-da-di-da.
You join the other perspectives, and I remember for that season I watched Jem as my main point of view. I watched hers first and was like, oh, this is interesting, okay. Oh yeah, it's a bit weird constantly moving around. I watched a different perspective, death after death after death.
Destruction,
there was screaming,
death.
There was crying.
Skiz went from having all 6 lives to be down to 3 lives due to the snails. Like, this guy did not survive.
And you couldn't do anything to the snail, and like the snail would go into the water, and if the snail ran out of air bubbles, you would also drown. And we got a couple deaths by that way as well.
It was a hard session. It was a hard session.
It was hilarious. As a viewer, it was so funny.
But I feel like wildlife also had ways to like gain lives back. Was that in this season?
No.
No. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I feel like yes, but I feel like I'm lying to myself and I'm confusing myself.
On the wiki, the exact rules, I'm checking. Everyone started with 6 lives, players with 4 more, represented by dark green, 3 is light green, 2 is yellow, 1 is red. Yellow players could only kill dark green, and red players can kill any player, killing dark green. There was nothing about trading lives. I don't know where you're getting this from.
Memories. I feel like it had something to do with like if a red killed a dark green. But I don't even know, man.
Wait a minute! Didn't Skiz... You're right! Where is this information in the wiki?
The world... I have the wiki open. Let me scroll.
Do you remember? Do you remember Skiz went from red back to normal, then red again?
And that's why people were saying the death count was off. Right, because there was like, people were arguing, is it 36 or 33 deaths in this episode? And I'm like, it's 36, but Skiz gained lives back and then lost them again.
So, I'm sorry, I doubted you. I had forgotten about this. I am a failure. I am a failure at knowing everything about the live series.
Beautiful. We got it. We were correct in this information. Though? I don't know. It's not listed. And we failed in our rewatch duty, but I feel like it definitely is like if you kill a dark green, there is a life to be gained. But I'm not certain what that rule was.
I got nothing.
Anyways, episode 4, time dilation. Mumbo, is the moon fast? This was basically the session where time started off super slow. Everything was slow. People were joking about we're dodging arrows in slow motion. And by the end of it, we were passing days and days and days in hyperspeed.
Yeah. So I remember it began, and the first thing I saw about slow was Joel lighting a TNT, and what was it? Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was very cool. He was living his Fast and Furious dream. He was building that car at that point.
So Joel decided that this season was Fast and Furious.
We don't know why, but it was a vibe.
Yeah.
And dude, when Grian looked out his base window and went, why is he building a car? It looks like some guy's creative world. This is the life series.
He wanted a car.
You can't stop him.
And Tango was eating the car.
Let's see. Did much happen? I feel like that wasn't a very especially after the snail episode, it was like, wow, this is actually so much easier.
It made PvP interesting for sure.
Then what was next? Was next Trivia Bot? Or
how did they? Yes, I believe so. How did they steal lives? In the wiki, it includes this many lives were stolen by other players. What was the mechanic?
I swear it's killing a dark green. I'm gonna die on that hill and let my life be stolen.
Yeah, we don't have to. We could open up one of the videos.
No, I'm gonna start talking about the Trivia Bot. You can do your research. So, the Trivia Bot. This was yet another mechanic voiced by Ollie the Orion Sound. And it actually involved, Grian and the dev team reaching out to members of the live series community going, hey, we need trivia questions about the live series. Give. And it was coded in a way that no one got questions about themselves. It wouldn't be like, oh, Ren and Martin can't get a question. That was like, what were the house theming around Ren chanting? Because they were originally doing house carrot, house rose or something. And you can't get a question about your own stuff, but other people could. So you would have to get up and leave the bot, but the bot was on a timer. The Trivia Bot that descended from the sky, the second you interacted with it, it was on a timer. And if you failed to answer the question or got the question wrong, the bot would not be happy, and the snail would be back. But like if you got it correct, yeah, give you presents.
The reward, it would give things like wind charges. I believe it gave a mallet at one point. Different rewards, golden apples, that type of thing. Originally, it was supposed to give a life, but they scrapped that mechanic. And for punishments, there was a variety of things. If you got the answer wrong, they would do something. One of the fun ones was, congratulations, there's a Ravager now. Or, congratulations, you are now massive.
Yeah. And it was only if the timer ran out that the snail came back.
Your voice doesn't work, you only sound like a robot to others. And if you ran out of time, congratulations, snail.
Snail.
Scar was so defeated. Scar got the snail and just sounded ready to leave.
It's like, you know what, maybe we don't need to play the live series anymore.
I'm joking, but in that moment when he heard the snail, the defeat in his voice just sounded like, you know what? Maybe we're done with Minecraft now.
I might just log off forever. The snail is back. Well, goodbye.
If you watch his perspective of it, he voiced his over that section. So it's only in other people's point of view that you just hear this snail. Oh, buddy.
Snail.
I'm sorry.
There is a quiz online where you can go and you can take the trivia bot quiz yourself, and it like randomly pulls from the stuff. I think I did it and got like a 85% or something along that line, where it's like passable. Would have died though.
There are 2 quizzes that you can do. You can do the easy questions, that are the ones that the live series members got to go through, and you can also do the trivia bot questions that were the ones that got rejected because they were too hard.
Oh, but they were fun though. They were fun, Andy.
I love that episode specifically because, as somebody who does watch it and does not remember all of the mechanics perfectly, as is evident by this episode, but does remember lots of little tidbits, it was fun to see what the creators themselves remembered of each other's stuff, of their own stuff, that kind of thing. I remember, did we get Martin asking Ren in Third Life who got married? I believe that was the question.
Yeah, and
Martin
it was
Ren,
like,
did we get married?
I was like, no, I cut off your head, but I don't know if that counts.
It's Scott and Jimmy. And Jimmy's like, wait, we did? Yeah, the flower husbands. What are you talking about?
Like, someone definitely got married. Dude, I know we shouldn't be talking about past life, but the way Martin was, like, so excited when Cleo came and told him that, like, yeah, Ren proposed to our team, and I was like, Cleo's gonna be third wheeling with Impulse, and I don't think even Impulse knows that he's married now.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff. But it was one of the more fun episodes of the season for me. Granted, I enjoy most of the live series, if not all, but to have that perspective of, I know the answer.
And then people stealing the quiz bot when others would run away to ask questions. And I was like, I mean, if you can't find your quiz bot, timer's gonna run out.
There's so many good clips as well. Just the Greens. I am Bread Bridge. What are you talking about? I was Bread Bridge. I am Bread Bridge. Boy, okay.
Bridge.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a good. I really like that. If you only watch one episode about the entire series, it has to be the quiz bot, because that is like a very quick rundown of what happened in the past.
Impulse never got over the clock from B-dubs.
Yeah.
He never passed that. He has trauma.
All right, the next session after the quiz bot was honestly, I want to say kind of an easier, nicer one. It was the mob swap, where it was like, easy air quotes, but compared to Snails and Trivia Bot, a whole bunch of passive mobs spawned, and then suddenly they were replaced with non-passive mobs.
Congratulations, there is now a wither here. No, with a skeleton.
Things just started spawning, and it was unkind for all of them.
Yeah, and some were fine, because if you just get, oh, there's skeletons here now, That's fine. But progressively throughout the episode, more creatures would spawn. So they would do it in waves of a bunch of passive mobs would spawn and then turn into variety of creatures.
Mhm.
And then time would pass, and then every creature aside from the players would die, and then it would happen again, but there was more this time, and then it would happen again, but there was more this time, and by the end, boy, the computers better be strong to keep up with that lag.
Well, also, it's like all their food sources went away too. Like if they were saving like any cows, like those got turned. They did not last through the episode. So you're also dealing with hunger.
Yeah, no, if they had a farm with animals, they didn't get turned. They got wiped out in that thing before all the passive mobs get
right,
spawned.
because they would, yeah.
And unfortunately, that also happened with any pets that were not named. If the animal was named, they would not get swapped. But Pearl had a dog, I believe, that got wiped out.
Pearl is not having like good records with dogs and wildlife, and now past life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, to be honest, I don't think the mobs did much damage. Like, what was it? Vex's, I think, took out 2
Vex's
lives. Was it the Vindicator or the Illusion guy? One of them also took out some lives, but I think it was mostly like player deaths that were like red-lifing each other.
Yeah, I think it was one of the better ones because they had been kind of going insane the last few episodes. It was still obviously wild.
Wild life.
They had the moment to take each other out rather than starve to death.
Yeah.
I remember Scott has said things about it a few times now. But you start the thing and it would say a wild card is active and you don't know what. If there's not an immediate change to the world around you, congratulations, the wild card is an anxiety. What is happening?
That's such a mood.
You don't know until something happens, and especially during the snail episode, nobody knew for the first section of time until Bigby's death message came up.
Dude, I was watching Bigby's like a clip of his death earlier, and it's like literally he's just in the mines, and then suddenly a block breaks next to him, and he's dead. There is no reaction time.
Yeah.
Like that's a bad place to be for the snails to spawn
Lizzie and
in.
Scar in the mines, and you just hear in the distance, Wah!
The snail Ollie approaches. We moved past the snail episode, but we keep coming back to it because that is the iconic visual thing of wildlife. Like it's even on the merch. Like they made merch of all the snails.
So there are iconic things from each season that kind of persist. Some of them are on purpose, some of them aren't. Things like, did that make you jump? Sticks around. The snails now get referenced. The aha jokes still get referenced sometimes.
Yeah.
Like little things that, despite moving on, will have discussion around them. And especially for wildlife, people will still be terrified of the snails. I remember in this most recent season, there was at least one moment where, what were the whispers? Oh, please don't tell me the snails are back.
The snails. The secret keeper has brought the snails.
No, please. We do go back to it because it was a large thing for that season.
And then we have the second to last episode, which was superpowers. Everyone gets superpowers. And now at first, I and like a lot of other people were like, this doesn't feel super random. Like some things were clearly are tied together, but it's like, no, like 2 or 3 of them
genuinely
were hard-coded, but like most of the time it was just random. Like Zombie Cleo got zombie powers and Green got mimic powers to explain to other people how to get their powers to work. And that's like, you know, for mostly it was random. It was wild.
It was completely randomized aside from Green, but they still each fit the characters so well that people went wild because I'm going to keep making this joke this entire episode.
And we have 2 people who were out of the series already at this point, but because Zombie Cleo had the zombie powers, they came back as her minions. So it was like Mumbo Jumbo and Skiz who are like, we're here to be an absolute menace. And truly, Mumbo died so many times, but because he was a zombie, Zombie Cleo kept bringing him back. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So, Martin is the one that made people go crazy because, are you sure this is randomized? Martin has the lore about the watchers and the listeners. His power was super hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was that moment where like Green was mimicking Martin, and then Martin was listening in on him, and Green was listening in on Martin, and they were just having a conversation from across the server, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
this has gotta be lore, right? And it's, Martin's like, no, it was
No.
completely by chance, and it is not going to be worked into lore as a whole.
It was, well, too bad. Fanfics are going to put it in anyway.
Fan fictions are here to say the boy saved by the listeners has listening powers, and Martin's like, I'm just a player, and everyone's like, but you can't be.
No, we decided you're special. Ren had the shape-shifting as well of the playing the different characters.
And he did the thing where it's like, I'm gonna shapeshift into other people, and then he shapeshifted into Martin, and then like Martin, was it Martin who died or Ren who died? One of them died, like was out of the game, and like the person changed their skin to be half Ren, half Martin.
So Ren had the shape-shifting ability, Martin had the super hearing. Ren was shifted as Martin when Martin died out of season, and so in the season finale, Ren came in a skin that was half Ren, half Martin, and called it MartRen. Said he was stuck like that. Congratulations. He did a whole lore thing about it. Very small, but really weird to the other players. Not what I was going to talk about there. LD Shadow Lady had shadow powers.
Oh yeah, I did love that one where it's like that's actually perfect. Lizzie having shadow invisibility, actually perfect. It was a great episode, and a lot of Red Life unaliving.
Tango had zoomies.
Pearl had flight.
Oh, and B-dubs. Oh, B-dubs, the man who always wanted to streep.
Perfect, actually perfect. So
Gemini Tay had the power to dissociate.
Actually, what a mood.
In reality, it's basically her going into spectator mode, and whenever she's hit, she goes back into her body. But when she's in this floaty mode, she can look anywhere she wants. Also,
communicate with the ghosts.
Can talk to the ghosts. That's what it was.
And it's like, but then they'd be summoned back by Zombie Cleo, who's like, "Rise, my minions," and like, well, Gem's like, "But I was talking to them."
So she sends Joel to kill them again. So she can continue talking.
I was talking to them, and they can't. Like, they can work. Skiz and Mumbo could work with Gem when they were dead, but the second they were brought back as Zombie Cleo's minions, they had to serve Zombie Cleo, and like it didn't matter.
It really was so fun.
It was so fun.
What people did with the superpowers. Because you got the, also by Ollie, I believe, the intro music. They did like classic superhero intro music when the wild card got activated.
Mm-hmm. But the finale, we have to talk about the finale. The finale, where make it wild. Every wild card, every bit of chaos. Well, not every wild card. A lot of wild cards.
Yes, every wild card, but they would rotate through the wild card. So there'd be 2, 3 active, and then one wears off and another one goes in. They rotated through all of the wild cards as the episode goes on. So things such as like time dilation. Everything is really slow, but there's also snails chasing you. And then the time thing wears off. The snails are chasing you, but you have superpowers also. The snails wear off. You have superpowers, but you also have hunger. That's how they did the final episode, was everything all at once. And at the very, very end of the final episode, they said there was weird text, it was all rainbow, and they then put every single wild card active at the same time. It was a bit overstimulating, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fun, but oh boy.
Bit chaotic.
And
that's the Fast and Furious franchise summed up in.
Dude, Joel, okay, spoilers, obviously. Joel won. Fast and Furious, he has the chariot, he is the car, he is the chaos, right? The fact that he was like, yeah, I'm winning this, but like he needed to go check to see if his trap would have worked. It didn't get set off while people were around, and he's like, I'm gonna go die to my own trap, and he gets there and it didn't work. Actually, he was like the final note before he died from like pearl fall damage or whatever. I was like,
so I would like to mention more things about the season, but if you are unfamiliar, we've mentioned it in multiple previous episodes, but it is commonplace to associate the different live series winners with different celestial bodies. Pearl is a moon, Green is a star, No, green is the
So
sun.
it's the
Got
sun,
is
the moon, the stars, or the sun, the stars,
and
the
Mars.
moon, Mars, Earth, and a freaking car.
Yeah, so it was debated. There's always a debate when somebody first wins what their celestial body is going to be. It's never been an easy decision since Pearl. After Pearl,
Yeah.
became difficult.
People still argue about Scar, like, honestly.
Yeah. And they also debate if we should include the April Fool's winners. But the main debate for Joel
is do we let him be a car? And everyone's like, yes, 100%.
So there was a few things tossed out. Comet is always tossed out as an option. Comet has been tossed out for several celestial bodies, but hasn't properly been accepted. But the main one that people latched onto was the Chariot constellation, next to the Gemini constellation. And the Chariot is basically a car, and so you kind of have to decide if he's just a car or a chariot. But I think it's funnier if he's just like looking up into the sky through his telescope. The sun, the stars, the moon is up there. Oh look, there's Mars. Oh look, Pluto so far away. Is that a car?
I feel like there was a point in history where someone did launch a car into space, and I'm like, maybe that is Joel up there.
So here's the thing, is that for a lot of the live series, if you look at fan content, people really love to be angsty about it. They love to be sad. They like to make sorrow, and the winners are tragedy. But I've not seen that stuff for Joel. I have seen, unironically, Joel in his car crashing into the Watchers like headquarters and breaking the other winners out, and just like, let's go. We're going shopping.
Let's go. It's so like the way Joel makes YouTube videos. It's like he does lore, he does stories, but it's stories done in a way that feel very like almost satire of how the fandom expects it to play out.
Well, I would like to remind you that in Empire Season 2, the way Joel did lore was, woo, we're doing lore now. That's how this came to be. Ignore my time-lapse of building it. It's lore. I put something in the fountain.
But in Empire Season 1, it was lore because he refused to lore. Like, we have Zornoff, and, like, you know, Joel would just come around. It's like, I literally can't see him. He's not real. What are you guys talking about?
So, for a long time, he's had that defiance of how lore is traditionally done, and it's been fun to me to see that difference in how the fandom treats his win. His win is not tragic. His win is epic, and there's explosions in the background, and he has a fun time and got like sunglasses on or something, and is just gonna drive his car away. Let's go.
Woo!
He wins. Like, he wins. Out of all the live series winners, he wins at being a winner because nobody went make him cry about it. They went car.
He did it. He broke the curse of angst, and we respect that.
It, because how are we supposed to interpret angst out of him winning, turning to the camera and going, and that's the Fast and Furious franchise summed up.
I mean, I haven't seen the Fast and Furious, but I have seen Joel's wildlife POV, and like, seems close enough.
No, I want to mention that the sub-ones have sub-1 intelligence, and there were so many funny moments. That's when Etho went to the grave site, and it was the wrong grave site. That one kept going.
Yeah.
We can do the Q&A, it's fine.
Make a noise. Question number 1 from CK Wells. Hey, have you seen any of those little MCYT foldable paper figures that have been all over the internet? I've made a couple and I was curious if you guys had made any.
I have a strange answer to that. Technically, yes, but I don't have any. I made one several years ago when I was first learning about Minecraft on YouTube, and I was watching AFMAO. So that was a phase in my life. I've not made one of any of the Hermits or Life series members, because I do enough. I have cosplays of all of them. I don't have time.
I don't have any of the foldable paper figures, but at one point, back when I did start live streaming, I got a 3D printed version of like those foldable little paper things of my Minecraft skin, and I'm like, it's
As you should.
super pretty and it's super cute, but I'm like, that did cost $20. I really should have just done a foldable paper version of
Yeah,
myself. But
yeah.
it was,
Like,
you know, yeah, I love it, and I do still cherish it.
I love them. I have enough hermit trinkets around that I've made. I don't need posable little guys.
Andy, did you see that Hermitcraft is releasing merch?
What?
Oh my god, you haven't seen it? It's so cute. It's so cute,
What?
Andy.
What?
Yeah.
Where? Where? Where?
I'm dropping the link. I'm dropping like it's hermitcraft/shop dot fourth wall.
Chaos, it's my birthday very soon here. Chaos,
Happy
do I spend my money on this?
birthday! Have a birthday. So I've derailed the episode.
Yeah, so you do the Q&A on your own. I've
Yeah,
got things to
okay.
look at.
Actually, I kind of want to talk about something that someone else has been asking for a while. So, Andy, you keep looking at that. I'm going to talk about it myself. It's from a person. It's kind of like the do you ship question. This one specifically, like, do you ship Desert Do It? But, like, as a whole, we talked about, like, wanting to do an episode about the concept of shipping. But it's like, as someone who, like, really doesn't understand romantic relationships, the idea of shipping to me is like, I really only understand joke shipping and like, oh yeah, the dynamic between these two characters is so fascinating. But like shipping as a romantic relationship, like the way people ship Desert Duo versus the way they ship Boat Boys are two drastically different things. And to me, the ideal ship is the energy of Boat Boys.
Yeah. So I have my own opinions about it, but please know, I don't come out online a lot. I don't experience that myself. And so like I'm fine with shipping. As in, if the creators are fine with it and you're not like shipping the actual creators themselves, do what you want. If you do it well enough, like if it's just intertwined in a compelling story about something else, then I'll read it, absolutely. It's not something I search for though. I've kind of just fan art is cool. Like if it's cool art, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, good for you. If they're kissing, I'm gonna be like, that's a bit weird, but alright, not hurting anyone.
Yeah, I was talking about this on a couple different platforms, but like K-pop Demon Hunters or whatever, that movie is like, it's a good movie, but like the way it is very much set up, it's like boy meets girl and girl is instantly in love. I'm like, that made me feel unattached to so much of the movie. It really like, I don't get it. Like why does she care about this random dude? Like there is no like emotional connection to me. It's like for a lot of people it's like shipping is like two action figures pushed together, and I'm like, no, for me, if I like actually want to care about a ship, it either needs to be so funny it's hilarious, or it needs to be such a like interesting dynamic and interpersonal study of the human psyche, or it's Jack Frost and Elsa from different franchises and they will never meet.
I will confess that I will enjoy romantic stories when it isn't just romance, when it is a story about the exploration of how relationships in general work, regardless of what the label on it does. Like, the kind of thing where this is my person, regardless of what the connection is. Especially, like, time loop ones or parallel universe ones,
Oh yeah,
where
those
they
are
explore
good.
in every universe these two know each other. Are they partners? Are they friends? Are they childhood friends that never saw each other again? Are they soulmates? Are they platonic soulmates, romantic soulmates? I love those kind of stories that explore what the concept of a soulmate, of somebody who is with you no matter what, but isn't necessarily romantic, and what that entails is different in each world. So I don't have strong opinions on specific ships. I like good writing, and I like breaking down the human psyche.
Yeah, like I
Let me
see
explore
why
it.
people ship Desert Duo. Like that is a very interesting dynamic, but for me, I'm like, but there's so many other things you could do, you know? Like
There's a lot of good ones that you could do if you really want to explore dynamics like that. Like Scott and Jimmy, again, very popular, but their relationship across different servers of these two characters, and then they play two separate characters, and then how those two interact, it's always fun. Because, like, if you want to do the soulmate across all of the different servers, you've got to talk about Joel and Lizzie. Like, the way those two interact, regardless of world.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of the time where I'm so like neutral, maybe leaning positive depending on the dynamic of ships. There are ships I actively like don't like, and that usually comes down to like the content creators have said blank, or like there's like a severe age difference between the content creators, and I can't like mentally get that out of my head when thinking about the characters they play. To me, like, Gemini Tay, like, as a content creator is very close to my age. So it's like the idea of like someone like shipping any character Gemini Tay plays, I'm like, that feels weird to me, Like sometimes I'm just like, I'm too aware of this person as a person to separate them from their characters.
That's also why I don't seek it out, is what I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Is because I really don't mind it if it's a well written or well thought out thing, but but because it is something of content creators playing characters, sometimes purposely, sometimes not, it can create that strangeness of, is this shipping a real person? Is that an okay thing to do? Is this a moral way of going about it? Is this exploring the way the characters are different, or are we pulling elements from real life into it?
I've also seen like, even in like non-chippy settings where it's like it will just be a story about like characters, but it would be fully like, yes, and this half zombie, half goat, half cyborg creature sets up a live stream, and I'm like, we're crossing streams here. We can't be doing that. Like the act of
a funny way
live streaming, like I get why, like, oh yeah, and maybe it's the world where they record things and to put them out to the masses of like building tutorials are fundamental for the structure of a Minecraft world, but then it's like Twitch.tv? No, that's a step too far.
Yeah, so I find it interesting. I find it interesting in the way that Zadaf is looking at his friends, writing down notes about, he does this with this block.
Yeah, it's. I think we are both not in a position to actually answer ship questions, but Elsa and Jack Frost. That's my answer.
My answer is real life Joel and Lizzie. Let's support them. Let's go. Ooh, they had a child.
The child exists. All right, we gotta do one more question. Really quick, really easy one from Casey Wells. For Past Life, who do each of you want to win, and who do you think will actually win?
I want Cleo to win. If it's not a repeat winner, Gem is likely. But some of the winners who have previously won before are in good positions to do so. I would love it if Cleo could win, though.
I would love for Cleo to win. I would also really love for Jimmy to win. That's not gonna happen. But like a Gem or a Cleo win, I think they're both in like really good positions going into the end game of like, yeah, I think these two could do it. I think there's actual potential here.
Impulse would also be a fun win, but the gluten guys are kind of...
The gluten guys aren't doing great right now, I gotta say.
They're really not. So while I would love for that as well, he's not. Let's try again next season and maybe do a little bit better.
Ooh, you know what? Mumbo has to sub in for someone in the final episode. I don't care who, and then Mumbo Jumbo wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats, Mumbo wins in the season he's not part of.
Yeah, you did it. Woo.
Do you know that really old clip at this point? I say really old, it's just a couple years old now. Where MartRen took his little one and had her press a number on the keyboard
and Among Us
and voted them out. I want Joel to take his new little one, push a key on the keyboard. She won.
Yay! Well, recently MartRen was teaching his kid how to fight in Minecraft, and the kid destroyed Jimmy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you know what? All the children need to get together and fight to the death. Except Impulse's joke. But Impulse's kids are like in college versus newborn Joel, and it's like, yes.
Have you
Minecraft?
Have you considered we get the little ones, including Docky?
Oh, and Docky joins for the Baby Life series.
The Baby Life series. No, it's more like, I remember I've seen a couple things now since the announcement of Lizzie's kid coming into existence. the dads, and it's just all of the dads of the Life series just hanging out together.
I mean, Jimmy was the only one on his team to not be a father.
It's fun. What was the question again?
It's who do you want to win and who do you think would win? And we both were like, Jem and Clea are doing great, but hear me out. A funny answer. Yeah.
Hear me out, Tango.
Like I
Tango.
I would love a Jimmy win, but like I've been saying from the beginning, like this season feels like a potential Cleo win, and then you know what? I'd be happy with that.
Tango.
A Tango win? Exactly.
Tango win?
Congratulations. Welcome to Wildlife. Tango wins past life. Goodbye.
New mechanic introduced into the last episode.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of FanDive. We'll be back again next Monday diving into yet another fandom. Have a topic or question for the podcast? Head over to our website, fandive.tumblr.com. There you can also find any episode relevant images and general shenanigans that we get up to. It is Tumblr, after all. We're not afraid of being fans of things.